Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Mubin and welcome to my first video. Now in my first video, I'm going to be making the heaviest pistol ever in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And by heaviest, I mean the lowest mobility and the biggest looking pistol in Call of Duty. Now, the pistol of my choice is going to be the Desert Eagle, which is also known as 50 GS. And in this, we put on certain attachments to make sure that it is very heavy and has little mobility. Now, starting with our muzzle, I picked a monolithic suppressor. Now, I was torn between the tactical suppressor and the monolithic because of the size differences, but I decided to pick the monolithic because it looked bigger and longer. Moving on to the barrel, I have a Forged Tack Enforcer. Now, this one is a lot longer than the Forged Tack Extended, and it reduces mobility by a lot. Moving on to the optic, so I picked the VLK 2.5 optic, and I had a choice between the Cronen 480 and this, but I preferred to pick this because the scope of this can actually be used to get kills. The Cronen has a very bad reticle and it's not useful at all. Moving on to the trigger action. Now, trigger actions don't really lower the mobility or anything, but you do really need them because the Deagle has very inconsistent and very high recoil shots. And I went with the match grade trigger because it gives a high rate of fire and steady shots as compared to the heavy duty, which only helps in stability of shots. And last but not least, moving on to the ammunition, I am picking the 13 round magazine. Now you are watching the first episode of Thicc or Not Thicc, and this Desert Eagle, mind I say to you, is Thicc.
Damn, boy! Damn, boy, he's thick!
Now in this series we're going to be taking a gun. We either make it the lightest version of it possible or the heaviest version, hence the name Thicc or Not Thicc. And we're going to play 2 games and see how they fare, and by the end of it I will give you my review. Now, alright guys, let's jump into game number 1. Hello guys, so game number 1, we are going to be playing at Hard Hat in Team Deathmatch, and you see there I got my first kill with the Desert Eagle. It is a very powerful gun, provided you aim accurately enough. And as you see, at this point, the Desert Eagle isn't very accurate. It's very inconsistent throughout the game, you would see. And here I die, mainly because of the inconsistency and the high recoil of it. Now, moving on, both these games are taking place at Hard Hat, and as you saw there, the fact that I missed those point blank shots was crazy. But then I start killing people, if that's what you want to call it. But the Desert Eagle is very inconsistent throughout the game, as you can see here, but we do manage to land another shot. Now this Desert Eagle is quite heavy and it has very low mobility compared to a pistol. Now again, you can see here, I don't know whether you would call it luck or not, but I would think this is lucky. The Desert Eagle just is way too inconsistent throughout the whole 2 videos I'm going to show you. As you saw here, I'm missing point blank shots again. But the Desert Eagle is very powerful, I would give it that. 2 shots to the body is all it takes, and 1 shot to the head. And this is the biggest power of the Desert Eagle. But it's just not worth the risk of dying, especially in games that matter like Search and Destroy. Now again, as you can see, we get that lucky headshot, but I am not complaining. Now moving on, this gun is just way too heavy for a pistol. It is, I would personally say there are better alternatives, but that is for the review of the video. Now, as you can see again, I am killing, but this is this whole time is just a matter of getting lucky, as you saw over there. The whole game was just a matter of being lucky with the recoil of the gun and getting the kills. And here I did the bad habit of reloading my guns every time I shoot and after I get a kill. And that is a really bad habit I'm trying to get rid of, but so far it ain't working. Now this game we do end up winning, But I am personally not proud of myself in this match, mainly because of the fact that I could have done better personally. 11 kills is not what I strive to be. Like when you're using a pistol and going against people with an AK and 4 sniper rifles, you really do want it to be better. And so far that didn't work out in this game. So let's jump into game number 2. Now game number 2, we're gonna use the akimbo and I'm removing the scope because I did not want the guy to break his hands due to how heavy this pistol is. Now, the akimbo pistols are very powerful, I'd say that, because it's just 2 clicks and they're dead. But throughout the video you'll see that it's just not worth it. Like, the gun is very powerful and can get you easy kills, but you see the hipfire spread is crazy. It is so big that you miss easy shots even at close range. But if you do get luck on your side, you can get those sick, insane shots. But normally with the Deagle, due to his high recoil, that is not possible. Now I die here, even at close range, because of the inconsistency of the Desert Eagle. But then again, I get another kill. Now the reason why I'm playing hard hat is to show you guys the effectiveness at close range with this pistol. But far ranges, this pistol does not shine at all. Now moving on, we're at the center of the map, and you can see I'm pretty much missing all my shots with the gun, and I die to a rocket launcher, which always happens. Now, the gun itself, because of the heaviness, running an akimbo is really recommended because then you don't have to aim down sights. But that also means a huge hip spread. And that is not really ideal, especially if you're in that close range and you want to get that guaranteed kill. Now you can see in this game we get dominated. They call in a gunship, they call in a VTOL, and pretty much we have a bad time because we can't get anything done. Especially with the fact that I'm not being a team player and using nothing except the Desert Eagle. But you can see like right there how the big hipfire spread messed my aim up and didn't allow me for the kill. But the gun in itself is very powerful. 2 shots is all it takes and 2 clicks is all it takes to kill someone, provided you're lucky enough to get that. As you can see here, I am lucky and I get the kill. But most of the cases it's not like that because, again, sometimes you don't have luck on your side. Let's say, like, let me just see. Nope, we're doing okay. And there. I was in that guy's face, but I missed the shots, and that was very embarrassing. Not only that, but the fact that I lost because of that. And here we go, and we kill someone again, but you can see we're very far behind on the scoreboard. And that's not really good, because you want to normally win games. Like, look at this. It took me a total of 14 shots to get that guy down. And that was by luck. Now, as you see, I again get lucky, but since you cannot aim down sights with this gun, you are not really in an advantage at long ranges. Hence, this gun should only be used as a secondary. Now, moving on, again you see that I get those kills, I think. Because like at this point, I don't even know what is happening. The game was just too messed up at that point. Like, it was just so many people fighting, VTOLs, cruise missiles, and that. Now look at this. I die point blank range because of the inconsistency. That is just the main downside of the Desert Eagle, and we're reaching towards the end of the game, and I'm the final kill cams, sadly. But you can see that even though I was the final kill cam, it wasn't anything embarrassing because of how, I guess, well I played. And this, as an akimbo, I would really recommend it. But there we go, and we lost the game. We were pretty much dominated at the start and there was no point. I got 25 kills with 19. I am more proud of this, and this was the better games that I played with it. Now, let's move on to my review. Anyways, guys, Welcome to the review. Now, I'm going to be giving you the review of the Desert Eagle, both the akimbo and the single one. And honestly, the Desert Eagle is adequate at best. It is not a good gun, so to speak, for me personally. It it just has too many bad attributes that overwhelm the good ones, and I'm going to talk about them in a second. Now, firstly, the pros that I'm going to give you is the high damage the Desert Eagle has. That's one of the best pros. The second one is the fact that it has a high bullet magazine capacity, and third one is just an absolute beast of a gun. But then when you move on to the con side, it just really is not good. There's a big sway when you have a scope, or if you're whether you're not using a scope. The sway is just way too big to be even considered a good gun. And then moving on is the fact that it's very inconsistent. It's consistently inconsistent. That's one of the big problems with it. The fact that you can miss shots even though you're point blank range, and it can really mess you up. And also the fact that the Desert Eagle just has low mobility, and there's just better alternatives out there. I mean, if you wanted a pocket shotgun, you could have went akimbo snake shots, or if you wanted a gun that has higher fast rate of fire, you would just use the Renettis. And they're, even though they're nerfed, they're still better options than the Deagle. There's just so many better, more amazing options than the Deagle. Now, the Deagle, I would say, if you want to run it as a Kimbo, because this gun is actually amazing when it's run as a Kimbo, because there's no aiming, and the fact that it can kill someone in 2 shots is very good. But you gotta beware, the hip fire is way too big, the reticle, and the fact that it's just inconsistent. But I would recommend, if you run it, if you want to use it as a secondary and run Ghost, let's say, where you don't want overkill, so you can stay off the radars, yes, I would recommend it as that. But would I recommend it to you running it as a assault rifle or like as a primary with riot shields? Absolutely not. The gun is just not good and not up to the standards of Call of Duty. It's like swapping out a M4 with an AK. You can see, like, even though they're very similar, the AK is just inferior to the M4, mainly because of the recoil and the bad accuracy and the bad aim down sights. That is what is up. The fact that there are better alternatives than the Deagle just do not make it a good weapon. Now, yes, it is a good gun. It's just not good all the time. You can miss shots, or you're aiming at the head and you miss shots even though you're perfectly pinpoint. But I could not give it too much harsh criticism. The Deagle is a good gun. It's just there are better ones out there. And for that, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. It's adequate. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my first video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And leave a comment on how I could improve my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. My name is Mubin, and peace out.
Take you over, you just can't breathe. Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake?